What do you know about the U.S. immigration laws?
There aren't any. We need to secure the borders. And the people that fought to come in here legally are just getting stepped on because everyone's coming over here illegally. There's a word illegal for a reason. And they shouldn't be here. Or get here and do it the right way and become citizens. America's always welcomed everybody. Just do it the right way.
Not that much, but we actually are from like the border town, El Paso, so we do know a little bit about immigration. We've seen it really close to home.
Do you see a lot of the people who are like held stranded, by the borders?
All day. That's where I live.
How is their life? Because I haven't gotten to see that, and I'm sure a lot of people watching now
It's
haven't.
sad, actually. A lot of people, they're trying to get out of that, and it's bad where they can't even put them anywhere. They're living on the streets. At one point, they had to close the border because there's so many people like literally sleeping on the streets, and they had to move them to like camps and stuff. And it's little kids. People be coming here with little babies and stuff. Yeah.
What do you think solution will be to end all of that?
I put them in hotels, man. Give them a
Hotels?
chance. You gotta give them a chance.
They're clearly too open.
Too open?
Clearly too.
Can you expand on that, please?
Yeah, we need to secure the borders. And the people that fought to come in here legally are just getting stepped on because everyone's coming over here illegally. There's a word illegal for a reason. And they shouldn't be here. Or get here and do it the right way and become citizens. America's always welcomed everybody. Just do it the right way.
Chance.
I just feel like there shouldn't be like an immigration problem.
Yeah.
Like everyone should be able to roam wherever they would
Get
like.
help.
So you feel like there should be an open border,
Yeah.
so anybody can come into the U.S.
Not anybody,
course,
like
I
background checks though and stuff like that too. Like
Because I mean, it's not like that when we go to other places and
Yeah.
stuff. So why is it that U.S. has to do it so
I think it's
strictly?
right now.
Yeah, so from my understanding, the people you see sleeping there and all is those who are seeking asylum
Yeah,
and those who are
asylum.
trying to come in illegally. So those are the kind of conditions they're in. So not just anybody will go through that.
with the government and what's going on right now and elections coming up, so it has to do with a lot of that.
Do you think the immigration policies for the U.S. are too strict, or they're too lenient, or they're just good as they are?
I think they're too strict. Way too strict. Yeah.
I feel like maybe they could organize it a little bit better instead of just having them all in a group, like just kind of like
Separating
making
kids
them
from families.
be like, oh, you guys are so different from us, but they're really not. Like, you don't know where people come from, so I just don't feel like you need to divide people that way, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
How about those who are like fleeing away from problems from their country of origin?
Then we should
that-
have a system set up for them because I absolutely agree with that too. Just like, listen, I went to Iraq. When they were getting bombed and killed, they ran up over the mountains into Iran and their enemies. Yet Iran took them in to take care of them because that's what you should do. We're humans. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So they need to create a different system for that.
Yeah.
There's exceptions to everything. We're all humans and we should be good humans and take care of each other.
Yeah, and it does look like as the days go by that more and more people are, advocating for open borders to allow people in, to people who are going through a lot of stuff. And do you think the U.S. will succeed at all if it did that?
This is what we're having a problem with. People that I just spent a month in Florida. I've been going to Florida for 30-something years. My mother lives down there. A lot of illegals are down there. And when a person who is illegal, a woman, gets abused, raped, she doesn't report it. You want to talk about human trafficking? They're not going to report it because they're illegal. Make them legal and protect everybody.
Thank you.
We got to do it.
If you're familiar with Title 42, then you should know by this point that it has expired. Now, Title 42 was developed during the Trump administration, which gave the U.S. government authority to send people back to their country of origin or the countries they're coming from if there has been known to be a communicable disease from their country of origin or the country they're coming from. This specifically started during the pandemic, and that was what it was used for. People from Mexico were affected by this at the border, and with Title 42 expiring now, it raises questions. What's going to happen now? What's going on with immigration? Is the U.S. going to admit people into the country? Can people still file for asylum? How can they do this? And I'm curious. I want to get everybody's opinion. Do you think the U.S. border restrictions are too strict? Do you think they should be more open? Do you think they should be more lax? Like, tell me your thoughts. Tell me your opinions. What do you think? Do you think the U.S. should just have its doors open to everybody? I'm all ears. I want to hear and know everything from you guys. So keep watching. Are you familiar with Title 42 that just expired?
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Well,
COVID
what are your thoughts
era.
on that? Do you think it was useful? Do you think it's a useful tool? Do you think you're glad it's expired?
I think it was, it was useful for a temporary measure, as a temporary measure. But honestly, it was a delay tactic to just kind of continue what we're doing now, kick the can down the road, right? Like, we have yet to act on it politically in any meaningful way legislatively. So, like, it just bought some time, right? It bought some time, and now the excuse isn't there anymore. Like, COVID-19, the pandemic is no longer the threat that it was. And in that time, like, we didn't do anything to provide any sort of a permanent resolution to the immigration policy and situation.
If one word came to your mind right now to describe the U.S. immigration, what would it be?
The border. You bring up immigration, the border. That'd be the first thing that comes up. Yeah.
What do you think the border situation is right now, and how do you see it?
That's a good question. So I'm not too political in terms of that, so I wouldn't be able to speak on it.
Okay.
And you know, with how the world is, I feel like you say one wrong thing, everyone attacks you. But I guess my opinion on it is that it's lightening up since Trump's been out of office. But again, I don't track it enough to be able to give a factual opinion on it or a factual statement on it. But I feel like it is lighting up. I feel like immigrants are still coming in. They're doing what they need to do. Is immigrants, they're working. I feel like they're not causing harm. But again, they have the whole drug trade thing like that. So as far as I know, it's not affecting me personally. So I feel like they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing. I feel like it should be more open. Everyone, immigrants, people who aren't Americans, right? They talk about America being the land of the great. If we're the land of the great, open up the borders, let the people come in, let them work. Of course, go through the process, of course.
How about security, though? Like, if they just open it up to everybody, how about the security when they're opening it up? Like, some people that you might be letting in that might not be of any use to us here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we have people in the States who are American who aren't
good
of
point.
use to us,
Good point.
So I feel like
Okay, keep going.
So I feel like you might as well let them in, and maybe they can find their value at some point. It's just like people in college. They may change their major at some point while they're in college because they don't know. Everyone's different. You gotta let them find their time to appropriate to a different culture. That's just how I feel about it. I'm an open person.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, but I believe in giving everyone a chance to find their value. Find the value.
Do you think the U.S. would be a much better country if it just allowed anybody that showed up at its border to come in?
Hit and miss.
Can you say more?
You gotta think about drugs. You gotta think about all that type of stuff. But then some people just coming for opportunity too. So it's like a hit and miss.
So
It's good and bad, good and evil. Like, it's 50-50. No. I can say 100% no.
why? Explain. You seems like you have a really strong stance on that.
I don't feel like they have a proper way of doing things.
Like what are they doing improperly right now?
I don't like them little concentration camps and stuff they put people in. Like, I don't like that. You don't have to torture people. Like, I don't like that. Like,
You see it as torture.
Yeah, it is. Like,
Okay.
putting people against their will, putting people in cages and stuff. I don't like that.
Oh, the cages stuff and all that.
I don't like that.
All right. Well, where do you think they can hold them?
To be continued.
Hey, what's up, my brother? What you eating, bro?
I mean, some Domino's.
Show it to us right now.
Oh shit.
Okay, if you're on ad for Domino's right now, advertise the pizza in your hand real good.
this shit could be better.
In what way?
I think they're lacking in the cheese and in the crust department a little bit. Sauce is alright though. It was good in a pinch. Somebody gave it to me for free. I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it. So.
How you doing?
Hey.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Lakeisha. I live in Houston. I'm a private chef.
Wait, you're a private chef?
Yes.
Oh, nice. What do you cook? What's your best thing to cook?
I have a best thing, but I got a lot of people. So, like, what's your best thing to eat? I can cook it. That's pretty much.
Okay, that's good. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Nice. Where are you from?
California.
California. That's cool. That's cool. Do you know any immigrant? Are you from an immigrant family?
Yes, my dad.
Okay, what is your experience being born to immigrant parents?
Oh, well, it's just my dad. The best thing I could tell you is that when Trump looked like he was going to win, my dad got his citizenship. I can tell you that.
Okay. He was like, okay, I have to get this.
Let's make sure we can keep him.
Do you think that the immigration policy for the U.S. is strict or it's lenient?
I feel like it's pretty challenging. Like, he had to pass a test that I don't know that I could pass, and I was born and raised here. Like, he had to pass a test on, like, you know, U.S. history that, like, ask that person right there. I bet you they ain't got it. Like, for real. So it's a little challenging. And, like, also, why? Like, if you're going to make it stringent or if you're going to make it challenging, the history, really? You know, like maybe a background check or maybe like a mental health check. But, like, do you know the, like, Constitution? Who gives a fuck?
So there is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the shooting that happened somewhere in Texas where the man went into the home and shot like multiple people. And some people raised up the argument that immigrants are making the crime rates go high because it's an immigrant that did that, blah, 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 blah. So do you think immigrants are actually causing more harm than good in the U.S.?
Would there be a U.S. without immigrants?
Good question.
So, like, the reason the white people are here is because they immigrated. How about that? Like,
I don't think we've been a country full of immigrants for quite some time. I think we've strayed away from our original values and no longer observant. Well, our immigration policy is in total shambles right now. We just don't, and there's no real drive to fix it. And in fact, like, we just try and see how we can reject and turn away immigrants, whereas like we would be more welcoming before. And it's frustrating to see Congress not take on the hard questions and the hard and develop the proper appropriate policies to adapt to our modern times.
If you were in politics right now, what is one bill you would put in place that would cater towards the problem in immigration?
I don't think it's going to be solved legislatively alone. I think we need to become better partners with our neighbors, and there needs to be some legislation on their end as well. Like we need. Well, this is coming from a source, and we need to address the problem at the source as well as legislatively here. I mean, I think we might have like effective legislation, but we need help externally as well as like we do need to improve like our current laws.
Were you born in the U.S., raised here?
I was not born here, no.
Oh, where were you born?
Panama.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you get to the U.S., if you don't mind me asking?
My parents immigrated here when I was younger, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
As an immigrant, how do you feel, now that you're in America and, living the American dream?
It's hard, but I'm happy doing it,
What do you know about the U.S. immigration policies?
I think over the years it's kind of changed. It was stricter before and it's more lenient in some areas. It depends where you're coming from, If you're Canadian, it's a little bit easier. If you're from like parts of Ecuador, it's a little bit harder. So it just depends where you're coming from, I think. For me, I came up all the way through Mexico, so it was a little easier.
Do you have a stand as to the borders being open for people or people going through the correct procedure to get to the U.S. and migrate here?
I think definitely it's important to come with the correct procedure. I feel like the U.S. makes it a little bit difficult to do that, so I have friends and family that have gone through it and had to come in, made their own way. But I think it's important, I think to be a little bit more accepting.
So right now you don't think it's accepting?
I don't think that. I think it's still kind of tense.
For real?
You know
In
what I
what
mean?
ways?
Yeah.
Can you like highlight one or two?
I just feel like maybe like the laws that are being made right now
Okay.
are like, very anti-immigration.
Encourage people watching this that are not in America but want to move here.
I think giving it a fair shot to try it out, try to have a communication. I think there's a lot of hostility in the world, and I feel like if you just come to it with like a clear head and conversation, and so, that's the only way to do it. Kill them with kindness.
And that is all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to this point. And if you didn't get to this point, you dropped along the way, still thank you, or you skipped to the very end, still thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, family, enemies, whoever you care about, whoever you don't. Just send it to everybody, please. All right, I'll see you guys next week Wednesday with a new video, so please make sure you stay tuned. And again, as I always say, let's stop violence, guys. Let's use our words to communicate as opposed to using weapons. Weapons do not resolve anything. Please relax and learn to talk to one another. Thank you. God bless you guys. Be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.